Welcome back to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Charlotte Brown, and if you are just tuning in, we've been talking all about Shelterhouse today. My guest today has been Gary Mack, who's the Executive Director, and we left off the last segment talking about all the programs that Shelterhouse offers, and a really amazing one that you do is the SOS program. So I'd love to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Our SOS program is a street outreach program. We have a van that's out in the city. We have two people in that van, two outreach workers, and from 2 a.m. to 2 from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. They are out in the community helping homeless people that are in crisis. So they will drive certain routes where they know that homeless people are maybe in encampments, that kind of thing. They visit with people. The van is stocked with food, blankets, other supplies, whatever they need. So they're working to engage people because there's some people that they don't want to come to shelters, you know. So they're working to engage those people and also to help people that are in crisis. So if there's a homeless person that is in crisis, oftentimes we'll get calls from businesses or residences, and then we will go rather than the police coming. And so then our staff, they know all the homeless population. So they have very good rapport, and they'll bring that person either back to the shelter, or maybe they'll bring them to detox or to the hospital, wherever is appropriate for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also run a managed alcohol program. Let's talk a little bit about what that's about.
So our managed alcohol program is called Kwekiwin, and that means turning point in Ojibwe. A managed alcohol is a harm reduction approach. It is for people who are chronic alcoholics whose main alcohol is non-beverage alcohol. So they're drinking hairspray, hand sanitizer, mouthwash, that type of thing. It is a way of deterring people from drinking that, and also for providing them with housing. So this population is generally one of the most difficult populations to engage. And managed alcohol has been shown to be a very effective way to engage them. So when someone's in our managed alcohol program, they're not homeless anymore. That's their home. They pay rent to live there. They pay about $775 a month, and that covers their rent and their food and also alcohol throughout the day. So we provide them with a serving of alcohol every 90 minutes. And it is a way of keeping them comfortable so that they don't go into serious DTs, and it diverts them from using other forms of more damaging alcohol. So what we find is when someone's in our managed alcohol program, there's between a 40 and 70% reduction in trips to the emergency room, hospital admissions, trips to the Balmoral Center for detox, interactions with the law. Their health improves. You just see a transformation happen within a week or so of them being there, where their quality of life just improves greatly. So it's a program that we're really proud of. We're part of a national study of managed alcohol programs, and ours is really one of the leaders across Canada in this model. So we're very happy with it for sure.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Thank you.
So with programs like this, you know, it's money at the end of the day that allows everything to run. I'm curious as to how Shelterhouse is funded.
Well, how we're funded is we're funded with a lot of little pieces put together. So we receive a certain amount of our budget from the DSAB, from the District Social Services Administration Board. We receive a little bit of funding from the city as well. We get some from the federal government through the homelessness partnering strategy. But a great deal of our budget comes through fundraising and through donations. And one of the things that has really just blown my mind moving into this role is how supported we are, and Shelterhouse is, by the people of Thunder Bay. So we have to raise, you know, in the neighborhood of $500,000 every year through donations, and we get pretty close. So I am so grateful to the people of Thunder Bay for their support. And what it says to me is that our community gets it too, that it is a human right to have housing and shelter, and that no one should be denied that for any reason. And when I see our donations coming in, that's what that says to me, is that we really get that in our community. And so I'm very grateful to everyone for that. So
absolutely.
It's really awesome.
Absolutely. And I'd love to talk about that if people are watching today and they want to get involved, because it's a big operation there. You have some wonderful staff, but you rely on a lot of volunteers.
We do.
Funds are needed to not only run the programs, but I'm sure there's things in your mind that you would love to, a direction you'd like to take Shelterhouse to even help people more. So maybe let's talk about ways that the community can get involved.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's lots of ways to get involved, and one way is through volunteering. So many people come in and they'll cook in our kitchen, and people find that to be very rewarding. It's super fun. The people that are coming in to eat are very grateful and quite warm. It's really a nice experience. So sometimes people will form a group from their workplace or their family, or a group of friends will come in, or even people individually can hook up with other individuals and create a meal. That's really great. We also have what are called life enrichment volunteers, and those are people with a special interest or skill that they'd like to come in and share with our residents. So you might want to come in and play games or do crafts or whatever your interest is, garden or something like that. Amazing. And then also through your financial donations, right? When you donate to Shelterhouse, that money is going to keeping us operational, and it's going to feed and house, our most vulnerable citizens. So those are great ways to get involved, and also by spreading the word, by talking about what we're doing at Shelterhouse, what we're achieving there, is great.
And that's what I noticed in the media this past year. So many wonderful stories of work that you're doing over there, and people can actually join your Facebook page. You have a lot of great things that you're sharing on there as well.
Like us, please, on Facebook, because our Facebook is we're showing all the kinds of things that we have going on there all the time. And you're right, it is all very positive, right? That was really important for me, is to create a safe, positive environment for people, because you can't get well when you are living in such instability, So we've really done a lot to make the shelter violence free. It's a very safe, nurturing environment where we have positive things going on, right, to bring joy and happiness to people, So it's awesome.
Good stuff. Absolutely.
Thank you for noticing.
And I can't help but notice. It's actually it's an interest of mine, of course, to be able to help any way that I can. But I just you can't help but notice the things that you're doing over there, Gary.
Wow,
and you're doing
awesome.
a great job. And I see your staff all the time, and they adore you. So you're doing
you.
great work over there.
It's mutual. I love them too. They're amazing.
So let's talk a little bit about the future of Shelterhouse, and maybe a few of the goals that you'd like to see over the next year to 5 years see happen with Shelterhouse.
For sure. Well, we have a pilot project going on right now with Alpha Court, where we are providing housing. Alpha Court is providing housing. They're a mental health and addiction agency that provides transitional housing connected with case management. And in this model that we're doing, we've also brought in students from the developmental service worker program at the college, who are also providing support so that people can have a successful transition to independent living. What I'd like to see is this model expanded in a big way, so that people are supported to live independently in the community. And then for us to really, as a community, create housing. I think that we can solve the issue of homelessness. Other cities are claiming that they have done that, right? And I think that we could too. We could totally eradicate homelessness in Thunder Bay. That's my goal. That's my ultimate goal, to close the shelter down where we don't need it, where there's just housing for everybody. That's what I would really like to see.
Well, that's an absolutely beautiful goal to have. Now, if people want to get involved, whether they want to volunteer, whether they want to support financially, whether they want to pick up extra groceries and drop them off, what's the best way for people to contact the shelter or get involved?
You can call us, you can stop by, or you can check out our website, which is shelterhouse.on.ca.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you, Gary, for being on the show today, telling us all about Shelterhouse, all the fabulous work that you're doing over there. Keep up the great work. And I encourage everybody to get involved. Christmas is right around the corner. Great time to be able to give back to the Shelterhouse when they're definitely always needing the help and support. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Be sure to watch next week with more on In Your Neighborhood.